Hi, what's up? So I'm busy explaining like a travesty, just a devastating travesty that's happening out here in these streets, and I'm like, stop. Like, stop my life. So in my previous part, I was speaking about how it is that individuals are spiting their whole bodies, by cutting off their noses because, like, I don't know, they've got like a strategy. I also made mention of the fact that internet is a devastating opioid. It is an addictive drug, very, very incredibly so. But one that is like a nefarious pharmaceuticals company that refuses to market a cure they've discovered because they would much rather treat the condition, given that it's more lucrative to treat and they won't provide the cure. So herein lies the internet, which is like an opioid. People need to quit it. The treatment, frankly, the cure for it is to realize that human beings ought to communicate with each other face to face quite a lot, that they might know that they're gotten, they're heard, they're understood. Like spend a couple of hours with actual people instead of like chilling out on the internet making like some kind of an animal with a hunched back because you're Nostradamuc. No, stop doing that. But people won't do it because for as long as this drug is available, they're gonna snuff it, and they're gonna snuff it hard, and they're going to be zombies on it, like they've taken trank or even flakka, beating themselves against the wall, and you are not gonna seek help until this thing is basically threatening to kill you. Yeah, well, since this thing is both the therapist and the patient, the internet, people cannot afford to just ditch it. It's like electricity. Have you seen how South Africans are spazzing on the floor because there's power cuts? They don't know whether they're coming or going. They are forgetting that there was a time back in the day when there never used to be electricity and people were content with candles. But because they got used to electricity, now they're spazzing. They're proper withdrawing like no man's business and can't nobody move. Very well. Convenience has been given us as the human race, and that convenience is the very cure to the disease that it commenced, and we will all admit, at least at a minimum, that. So therefore, when you're living in a world that has advanced with all these technologies and you get yourself accustomed to it for 3 years, I used to smoke cigarettes, right? I never really struggled to quit, but I would understand the plight of one who wants to quit because I used to take them in my stride when I was all stressed out and what have you. I know what it's like to try and quit a drug that for the life of you is not good for you, but you know what? It's the very thing you need to overcome stress, but it's also the very thing that is causing you stress. Yeah, internet is the cigarette, you guys. It is absolutely the cigarette, and y'all want to quit, but you know that, some of y'all are even like, for what? I had this one colleague at MTN that had quit cigarettes for like literally almost a decade, and then she went back to smoking. Upon being asked why did you do so a stupid thing as that, she was like, I don't even understand why I quit in the first place, because I love smoking. She sounded so dumb when she was saying that, nonetheless she spoke it, and I was like, you know what, leave the lady alone. Leave her alone to endure cancer in the lungs. Leave it alone to leave her alone to age like a prune, like literally at the speed of lightning. I don't even think she uses sunscreen, but sunscreen is not gonna matter when you've got those wrinkles around your face because you're always kissing a cigarette. Like, do you, girl? At the time she was already in her 50s or 40s, and I'm like, first of all, you're a Caucasian lady with barely any melanin in your skin, and here it is that you are smoking cigarettes after having quit for 10 years. You're gonna age at rapid speed. Your skin already has made out of you one of the first people to age on the earth. And then you go and you just help it along. You just help it along. Do you, sister? I don't know what she be looking like today. Bet she regrets that statement now. But just like that lady feeling like, why did I quit in the first place? That's exactly how my family are gonna feel about ditching the internet. It's the cigarette. Do you understand? It ages people, makes you sit on your computer all day long without going out and taking the dog for a walk. That is what this thing does. It ultimately, in the long run, is not very beneficial, but it is the therapist and the patient at the same time. They're gonna get to a point where they're like, I don't even know why I quit, but they're doing it to get at me. They're spiting me. The poor Christian that's done nothing at all. She's the innocent little lady. But don't nobody care about the innocent little lady, because we want to make the innocent little lady marry a Satanist. They don't understand that there is like a wicked satanic like American Okie that's actually in these streets trying to shower me with dollars, and I'm like, even your currency is dying. Saudi Arabia has come to agree the petrodollar is out the way, and you are actually in these streets thinking that you are going to go and bless me with a dying currency. America, I'm exhausted and I'm upset. Listen up, okay? Herein lies the deal. my family, I happened upon a conversation that disturbed me deeply today to learn that they have an intention to sever internet. Guys, my little sister has only ever grown up in the internet era. She was born in 2001. I remember the Y2K bug thing happening to us all when I was just 16 in the year 2000. Everybody thought the world was going to come to an end and all the internet like portals of the world were going to choke up a storm and bring, I don't know, the end of things as we know them. That didn't happen. The Y2K internet bug, yeah, that's just how primitive we were with internet in my years as a teenager. Didn't have a cell phone, smartphone, none of that stuff. We used if you want to type the letter R, you had to type like 5 times or whatever just to get it out on text. And I mean, I got so fast at typing that still to this day people are still shocked at how fast I am at typing on a cell phone device. What I need to say, very well, given that Google was this like baby little infant when I was growing up, I therefore know what it's like to have friends and actually during lunch talk with my girls. I know what it's like to play in the sun. I know what it's like to roll around in the grass. I know what it is like to flirt with boys, like for real, as in I can touch him, like because he's like in my class, as opposed to like I found him on TikTok and I could be among like 20 other girls in his DMs. I know a sweeter time. I do. I know a sweeter time, but my little sister, no. She's only ever been getting poked and prodded at on the internet, having people slide into her DMs. That's all she knows. She grew up in the internet era. She was born in 2001, and by the time she was a teenager, most of her interactions were on the internet. She was here gawking at a cell phone screen when she was just 14. That's what's good. How in the world under heaven you gonna be able to take away the internet from a human being like that? Human being born in 2001. How you gonna do that? Now please, I human me. I implore you to try. Go and attempt it. Attempt it, sister. I'm sitting here over here waiting to see your final results. Go on right ahead and give me results. I'm waiting. I'm patient. I've got Holy Spirit. One of the fruit is patience. So I will wait, sister, however long it will take for me to observe a Generation Z child going on right ahead to abandon the internet, even though he grew up in it. Even though she grew up in it, I dare you. Test it. All they've ever known, no. Go take a child that's been growing up in front of television and tell them to go and read a book. I dare you. Give me results. I'm waiting. I'll be waiting over here tomorrow. I'll wait even next day tomorrow because you are doing an experiment, longitudinal study. It requires time to go and gather insights. I will wait. Give it. Oh, you're struggling. Exactly. No, we'll find it. Hey, but in an era where all they stare at are screens all day long. My little sister, I got a job after coronavirus. So because she got a job after COVID-19, sister, I ain't never known what it's like to clock into an office every day. Gotta like grind through traffic in the morning and make it into the office. It was already remote working, so she works from home. A lot of times, sometimes she goes into the office, she works in the same building where my mom works, but for the better part of the time, most habits are from home. And sometimes, like I said, I believe it's a call center where she works at, she has got some device where she's taking calls and all that jazz very well. Sometimes in the middle of her calls, I will hear that music from Good Doctor. You know the show on Netflix called Good Doctor? Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, girl, how you be watching Good Doctor while you are taking calls? And then every so often a call will come through. She will then pause Netflix and get on the call. I was like, imagine me working at Teleshare Group Services as a claims consultant. Hey, on the side here, we used to have these double monitors at the one company that we work for. You know those screens where you can operate between 2 computers for like whatever. It was just a work of art at the time. Yeah, more you've got your emails and whatnot, and here you've got the software that your company uses in order to log claims and whatnot. Now imagine if I made a decision to project Good Doctor on this screen, go officing, sitting next to my boss, okay, and on this side I'm busy uploading data about the client that is logging a call because they got into a car accident. No, never days would you ever find that going down in 2003. Or 2004 and 5. Yeah, but then COVID-19 happened and now people on their double monitors are able to watch Good Doctor on this side and have the software for their company to log calls on this side. I was like, how spoiled a child are you? Look at you, Generation Z, walking around all spoiled, eh? You might as well be in diapers in the office and don't nobody gotta know. Why? Because you do not actually have to take a shower in the morning, get into an actual car or a taxi, and then drive to an actual office and be there all day long and wait for calls to come through in an office where you can't even move because it's not yet your time to take lunch. Marawena, you take a shower in between calls. That's what's good. Yeah, because you got it easy. COVID-19 done made that your life. Now, go and grab a person like that and take away internet from them. Like I said, I dare you. I'll go wait here and see the experiment unfold. I want to see the insights, what you gather, as to whether or not this person's going to be able to adapt, or if they are going to choke and freeze and shake on the spot, withering away, or because they are withdrawing. Because they are withdrawing. Like, y'all need to understand. Like, they have not been built to survive Y2K, like the actual Y2K bug. The Generation Z conglomerate just would have such a hard time if at all the lights got switched off in the internet, if at all there was like a Google issue, if there was a YouTube issue, if TikTok just disappeared off the face of the earth. If anything, TikTok currently is under siege and under threat across multiple nations because they're obviously stealing data on behalf of China, and so they've been threatening to take it away. And the primary complainants against this movement to get rid of TikTok are the Generation Z human beings. The Generation Z, not even Alpha because they're still babies. Generation Z, no. They be like, you know what, take away my TikTok, take away my country, I will riot. I will show you tomorrow who I am. Come at me and my TikTok, and you will not know even at all if you've got a nose and a face, because I'm gonna beat it. That's Gen Z. All they know is the internet. And herein lies my mom having given birth to a Gen Z baby, and she wants to take the internet from her after making her 100% more addicted than she already was. My little sister never used to watch TV, like regular DSTV. She would be scratched up on TikTok. That's what's good. Prior to my mom getting data, and it would be because of the, not data, but Wi-Fi, okay? And this would be what she would be doing on TikTok, because there's like this bundle TikTok that enables you to be on it for like hours on end. That's where she was at. So like regular streaming, long form content type thing is not something she got accustomed to. And then my mom got Wi-Fi, and then she got put on my sister's Netflix subscription, my older sister's Netflix subscription, okay? My mom has 2 millennial daughters and 1 Gen Z. My older sister's millennial, not millennial, sorry, what is this, Netflix subscription, and then she finally considered television worth her while, because now she was getting, this video on demand. I want it, I have it, I pause, Speedy Gonzalez type thing, and now she takes her calls like in the middle of watching a show on Netflix. And my mother is basically taking that kind of lifestyle from that little brat, and I call her a brat because this is a plot and a scheme between her, my older sister, and my mom. They all just want to hurt me by doing something that they imagine they can survive. My little sister only works in a call center. She cannot afford to stream on Wi-Fi, just wire perpetually, and on top of that, whatever internet provision has been given her by her company to do her job, she cannot stream like Netflix on it. There are rules in her company, meaning that she is also going to have to be made to withdraw from the drug that is Netflix, over and above withdrawing from the drug that is being able to stream perpetually on YouTube on videos that you want to watch, over and above being weaned of seeing what's going on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Discord, whatever might be the various social media platforms that these Gen Zs frequent. She is just like with my mom, shooting herself in the foot. My whole family has it in for me, and I'm like, yo, you are irrational. We understand that by collateral benefit I am the one that is receiving all this internet rain. Thank you. I'm not paying for anything. I don't have a job. But in trying to sever me from internet, you are hurting your own households. You are creating a hostile, cold, weird, very incredibly eerily silent Antarctic atmosphere that is insufferable. You're gonna get hypothermia. Like, you're gonna get like chills. You're gonna get, people who go up Mount Everest and they have to like chop off their toes afterwards because they got a frostbite. You're getting frostbites, girl. You as a bata aja in these streets have absolutely no toes because you decided that you can survive the Antarctic conditions, at least they are in 2023, of having no internet access, and so therefore sort of getting Netflix, and so therefore YouTube, and so therefore Twitter, and so therefore TikTok, and so therefore whatever random strange ominous new invention is out here in these streets trying to take your brains away. Guys, and on top of that, the thing about scaling is that people get to make prices real nice and cheap. There was a time when data was ridiculously expensive. There was a time when data bundles, you would chow them in just 1 second after being on the internet. But now, because of competition, competition, markets being saturated and all that jazz. Prices are going down because demand has skyrocketed, and so too has competition raised, and so therefore prices are reduced, meaning that there are plenty of places where you can be able to purchase a Wi-Fi subscription that's just running wire. That's why Netflix is able to grow so big and burgeon, because now more people are able to afford to stream without having to deplete data bundles and stuff like that. It's not that expensive. That's what I'm getting at. It's not that expensive. So I'm pretty sure that if my mother feels as if the Vodacom is too expensive, which it is in comparison to not so much MTN, but what I wanted to say was Telcom, Mobile, and many of these other subsidiaries that have popped up in the telco space, the competition has gotten tighter and stiffer. So if it's too expensive for you to stay with Vodacom, you can move to a cheaper one, meaning that the price for Wi-Fi, I'm yet to interrogate it because I've never had to find out for myself, because I wasn't paying that bill. But the price for Wi-Fi, I would imagine that it is possible these days to even get just 600 rands a month for a Wi-Fi streaming service, or under 1,000. Maybe even under 500 rands, but maybe the internet speeds are slow or whatever. That's what under heaven I'm trying to explain to you guys is going on, Lana. This very cheap service that is becoming cheaper and cheaper because of scale and demand. They're trying to act as if though it's breaking bank for my mom. Guys, it's not that I don't understand that my mother entering into retirement and so really she has to go and cut costs. I get it, I understand. I'm not unreasonable. I don't go ask any money for my mother. She don't buy me no tampon, she don't buy no retinol for me, she don't buy no pop my skin vitamin C. I don't get nothing from my mom. Like I'm hustling myself. All that I gain from my mom is basically shelter over my head, hot water, and some food. But I do not ask my mom for tampons, for spray deodorant. I don't ask my mom for tissue oil. I hustle. Do you understand? I've been made to hustle, and I was enabled to hustle. That hustling spirit, energy, flair that I now have was made possible by the internet. And now without internet, must I go back and ask a woman in retirement to go and buy me tissue oil? Must I do it? I will not do it. Me, I'm going to toner. I've been out here in this week speaking about how I've been price sensitive. I've been made price sensitive, and I have to buy things cheaply now because like I don't have money anymore. Back in the day, never would you ever find me buying toner 50 rand. It's gonna break me out. Now I've taught myself how to read ingredients that I might be able to buy cheaply, because I realize that expensive is not necessarily high quality all the time. Or because I know that I gotta take care of my own needs. So my mother's acting as if though, oh my goodness, like this kid, like, well, she be out in these streets like still drinking out of my breast. I'm like, no, mother, no, that's not what's going on here. Frankly, you're the one that kind of pushed me into obscurity that I might need to be returned to your bosom. But that's not even what's happening, because I'm taking care of my own needs in certain respects. So what are you talking about when you say that I'm go behave on you with this Wi-Fi thing? You're coming at yourself by coming at me. You are a woman that is about to enter into retirement. You have been made an addict of this opioid that is internet enabled any service at all. You cannot live without Wi-Fi. It is as crucial and imperative as electricity. So much so is electricity imperative to you that you have been among a small percentage, a fraction of South Africans that have spent copious amounts of money to get solar panels. We don't get power cuts. Hallelujah, amen. Let's praise the Lord for that. But now we've got no Wi-Fi. So we've got a house that's just always beaming, shining like the sun, but there is no Wi-Fi. How are you going to be a household in a complex being among the only ones that has solar panels but there's no internet? Dude, you look weird. It's like cognitive dissonance properly. It's like seeing a man wearing a Hugo Boss suit, like some deadbeat towed up from the floor up flip-flops from Pep. Something's wrong here. Something's not mixing. Hugo Boss suit, and on top of that you smell like Bulgari, like cologne. You smell like Bulgari cologne. You are wearing a Hugo Boss suit and a Burberry coat on top of it, but your shoes. And on top of that, you look like you don't have a pedicure on your nails. Like everything is looking all scaly and crusty. Hey, you've got like the cotton seho head tiki. Somebody needs to put a filer on that toe. Come on, somebody needs to put a filer on that heel, brother, because you've seen some hard times on it. You be looking like you be walking like kilometers upon kilometers. Marawabiri Hugo Boss, and on top of that, you smell like Bulgari. Aftershave like on fire. But what's going on down there? Where's Alanka, the cons, abuti? See a nail, manicure, pedicurist, and on top of that, buy some proper shoes, sell that Burberry coat, and buy some proper shoes. Yeah, well, with my mom having solar panels and no Wi-Fi, it's like rocking a Burberry outfit on the top and having mohudi mumrosa gamwang. Who does that? Who? Not wearing proper shoes. Who does that? Who? Who does that? Not proper. It's like a dermatologist walking around with acne. I'm sorry, what are you doing? Ain't nobody gonna believe your story. Every last dermatologist whose counsel I've taken online has had baby skin. They have had baby skin because they are in the business of getting people some baby skin. So if you are a dermatologist with bad skin, or if you are a skinny chef, you know, they say never trust a skinny chef. Can't nobody. There's a cognitive dissonance over there. Something's wrong with your food. So I don't know how in the world are you going to go and have solar panels, state of the art, and then have no Wi-Fi. This is a strategy against me that doesn't make sense even for them. You're going to go gloat as a South African young woman growing up in a country whose president is too irresponsible to provide it electricity and say, mom got solar panels. Where I live, it's heaven. Hey, guy, but do you have power? Can I use your phone? Can you give me password to your Wi-Fi next door neighbor? Because, man, you know, my mom had to cut it because she went into retirement. My mom would have been better off rather purchasing Wi-Fi in perpetuity instead of solar panels, because that is what is more likely to make her life more peaceable in, not tribulation, but what I wanted to say is in her retirement. Because you can ride out a couple of hours of no power, but you cannot ride out being unable to interrogate on the internet what you need. If you can't research, if you cannot stream movies on Netflix without Jesus. Netflix is a easy go, easy come. Nobody cares to gouge out their eye and cut off their hands, the lamp to the body. Nobody cares that what they're bringing into their system is unhealthy and uncouth. They don't care. They're not saved. So therefore, they need Netflix. They need it. They need it. It is the defibrillator. It is the thing that is doing CPR on their dying bodies. And yet, they are exterminating it because it is so incredibly beneficial to me. Wi-Fi. Guys, and ngizoba defeated for isikhathi singakanani bandla do bathong bana balefatshe ke nkalona you earth dwellers. Bathong modimo are he speaks of people on the earth that don't know him as earth dwellers, because all you got is earth to run with. This dying planet that apparently is being consumed by all the carbon dioxide you breathe out. Yeah, you be out there in these streets holding on to it for dear life. And yet you can't even, for the sake of that dear life you're holding on to, have an earth dweller experience perpetuated like internet. You're the ones that need internet, not so much me. But I needed to be able to catch up, find out what's happening in the world so I can know how much closer to the rapture we are. I need it. I'm not gonna lie. Please, like I'd be lying. I absolutely need it. It relieves how parched I am. It quenches my thirst, indeed. But what I research on it and what I do on it is something that they would much rather stop. And so for those reasons, yeah, no, they are doing away with it when they need it more than me. They need it more than me. I can survive without Netflix. If anything, I feel convicted. I need to stop watching it because it's a complete rabios from here to Timbuktu. But they can't. They can't. And they also, like I said, into a computer, into a phone, talking about Jesus all day. I know how to buy time. The Lord has enabled me to know how to fill up my day with routine, working for the kingdom of heaven. About my Father's business is something that is quite time consuming. But you who are about to retire, what are you going to do without internet in your house? And this child of yours that can only take calls now and not watch a good doctor next to them, she will be frustrated, and she's also employed. So why not enter into a strategy where she will contribute to the Wi-Fi of the household because it benefits her life? Instead, they're trying to get me to plan to buy Wi-Fi for everybody, because I would never ever hook up Wi-Fi in the house, hey, and then say you can't use it. It's like living in a commune and labeling your yogurt karabo. I'm sorry, I don't live in a commune. I live with a family. So if I were to organize Wi-Fi somehow because I found the money, I would give them access to it too. But they are trying to withhold from me the same thing, because that's just the thing. The hearing ear and the seeing eye both are from the Lord, and the things of God are like foolishness to the man who is perishing. Among the things of God is generosity, giving your piece of bread to the one who is hungrier than you. Sharing is caring. Totally. The Bible is all about that generosity game. And here are these people that it doesn't even cost them a cent to share their Wi-Fi with me, because frankly they are the ones chowing in. Barely ever do I even get it to work properly ever since they installed this like giant bubble of like solar panel like box thing. It's interrupting the signal of the Wi-Fi, so it's ever slower. That's why I have to sit up here in front and I can't go to the back anymore. So it's been very hard to access Wi-Fi. So I would do better if at all I got money to install a router that's closer to where I'm at, that I might be able to sit wherever it is that I am at in this environment. But the fact that I even have to make that arrangement when it's not necessary is ridiculous. I am literally out here in these streets thinking next time God gives me a chunky donation from somewhere, likely from the US, because that's usually where I get the money that comes to me from, instead of buying all the things that I need, I'm going to see if I can't pay a year once off for a year Wi-Fi, and once I have it installed by my particular installers, I will give them access to it. but it's going to be embarrassing for them. They're doing this to hurt me, to push me to some harlot of a man. Spiritually, so is he a harlot, and yet for the life of me, they cannot even realize that this very thing that they're trying to take away from me, they're taking away from themselves. They're guilty currently. Even as I speak to you guys right now, the Lord's evidence is telling me, what by guilty, by guilty. But not only are they guilty, but they're uncomfortable. Right now, the Wi-Fi is not working because it is indeed a technical issue, but it will one day be a severance of said service once and for all. Once and for all, and they think that they can survive this thing. Why has the Lord God Almighty, the Jesus of heaven, the one who is the adorer of us all, why has he not shown them that this is not going to work out? No matter how much they might try to get to assist her, it's not going to work out for them. Indeed, he has. The beginning parts of this, I spoke about how the Lord has placed me in pleasant places and all my boundary lines, and how Romans 8:28 is like a whole thing. Everything works out together, that he goes in advance and prepares before a table for me in the presence of my enemies. And the Lord has done just that. Through the technical glitch of this Wi-Fi before they finally turn it off, he has given them a foretaste, that's what's good, of what life is going to be without Wi-Fi. And already my mom is spazzing hard. She is withdrawing hard. Do you understand? From Netflix not being operational, or from her having to use her depleting data bundles on her cell phone, the cell phone of which she intends to reduce the limit, the restriction, the limit with which she is going to have to pay the service. Unza cancela all over the show. Indeed, I understand she ought do that. But one thing that ought not be cancelled is Wi-Fi for the reasons I have just highlighted above. Let's move to the next part. Gotta go to the bathroom.